I'm Mishka and welcome back to my channel. In today's episode of Our Life Beginnings and Always, we are going to be continuing with all the moments in step 2. So today we're going to be doing moment 9, which is called Escapade. But before we get into it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, so then they can find my amazing channel just like you have right now. So yeah, let's get into it and hope you enjoy. Escapade. You looked up, noticing the sun was finally setting. You had been trying to delay the end of the day for as long as possible. The evening breeze tickled your nose as you sat on the front porch, munching on fresh watermelon slices. You weren't even sure why you were eating it, but that didn't stop you from munching on the sweet snack. You turned to look at Cove. You both had been sitting in comfortable silence for a while now. He sat next to you, close enough for your shoulders to touch. He was happily absorbed in his thoughts and his own slice of watermelon. Chuckling, you watched as his face twisted in discomfort. He had to stop chewing to spit a seed into the bush. I bet I can spit a seed further than you. Immediately, you shoved the majority of what was left of your watermelon slice into your mouth just to get a seed to prove your point. As soon as you could, you sent that seed sailing into the middle of the street. Did you see that, Cove? Cove burst into laughter that slowed to a wide grin. You could tell he was equal parts surprised and impressed. Can you do that again? I didn't see where it landed. Of course I can. You popped another seed into your mouth and focused on where the last one landed. Setting the seed free, you got it to go even further this time. That's bad. Not bad? You had Cove chuckling again. It was taking a lot of focus to stay looking serious and to not break into laughter yourself. I'd like to see you try. I will. Cove took in a mouthful of watermelon, face grimacing when he had the seed. Then his expression morphed into the not serious, focused look, and he sent the seed flying, landing in a similar spot to yours. Wait, you got to do 2. I need another try. He spoke before you could even comment on his non-victory. His determination got you laughing. He quickly set another closer to where your second one landed. Seems we're evenly matched for now. Yeah, for now. For the next several minutes, you both kept carving seeds from your slices and giggling at the ridiculousness of the competition. Eventually, a truce was called, and you both went back to eating the neglected watermelon flesh. I wonder if I'll have another slice after this one. That one is your 3rd already. Is that bad? It tastes really good. I want to do that. Oh my god. I want to do that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, should I do that? No. Let's just smile at him. Cove matched your expression, and then he held his watermelon rind up against his mouth. It gave him the appearance of an even wider smile, making you laugh. He was so cute. A little while later, Cove flinched, making a confused sound. He slowly put his currant slice down on the plate next to him. Are you okay? Yeah. He stood up, head tilted back to look at the sky. His feet took him to the middle of the street. Did you notice anything? What do you mean? I thought I felt a raindrop. What? The sun's still out. You put down your watermelon slice and hopped off of your front step. Immediately, you felt a tap of water on the crown of your head, making you yelp. You're right! Oh, goodness! Take a picture of that. Cove was still staring up at the sky, and you watched as he began blinking more rapidly. When he finally turned in your direction, his face was bemused. It's a sun shower. It seemed crazy, but soon you couldn't avoid the drops that began increasing into a light shower. Bibbing with laughter, Cove kicked off his shoes towards his front door and reveled in the moment. You were excited. You closed your eyes and threw your head back, letting the rain shower over you. The cool drops felt so right after the warmth of the day. Feeling energized, you ran over to Cove and laughed at how soaked he already was. Not that he cared, because he was busy spinning in the middle of the street. Following his lead, you spun yourself until you were dizzy. Just as suddenly as the sprinkling started, it stopped and left you dripping with the smell of wet asphalt and soil tickling your nose. Look at he's wet. Look at his shirt. Cove caught your eyes, running a hand through his wet hair, combing it back. He frowned.
Aww.
It's over. The drops of rain clinging to his face almost could have been mistaken for tears. He sounded that disappointed. Aw, poor Cove. I wish it lasted longer, even just a few more minutes. And then a few more on top of that. He looked at you with such enthusiasm that you couldn't help but chuckle. You then looked over at your door and sighed. You knew Ma wasn't going to be happy to see you trailing water into the house. Cove rubbed his arm awkwardly. He must have been thinking the same thing because he watched you sympathetically.
It's okay.
You can dry off at my house if you want. My parents won't mind. I don't want to cause trouble. You won't really. My parents make bigger messes than that all the time. It's okay. No, go back. Thanks, let's do that. Yeah, okay. His whole demeanor brightened. You figured he must have felt relieved to help you avoid getting into any trouble. Cove led you inside and you stayed close to him. We have a ton of spare towels. I've just got to dig them out of the hall closet. Oh! Let me borrow your clothes, Cove. Cove didn't have any of the towels yet, but he came back into eye shot so you could see him stare at you flatly and roll his eyes. Haha, don't you think my clothes might be kind of big? I'm not joking. It'd be nice to borrow a shirt. I kind of was at first, but now I'm serious. He raised an eyebrow and a tiny frown paired with a blush appeared on his face. I mean, if you're serious, I'm just gonna dry my stuff off, but I could get something for you. Thanks, Cove. With that, Cove disappeared and returned in no time. He wasn't making much eye contact, but had towels in his hand, and plus what seemed to be one of his pajama shirts. It was a bright pink color with a dark brown seashell pattern all over it. You were certain it looked great on him. So, well, here it is. I hope that works. Thanks! You accepted both the towel and the shirt. You wrapped the cloth around your neck temporarily and took a trip to his bathroom to change. The shirt was old but very soft. You already felt more comfortable just thinking about having it on instead of your current damp attire. You left your shirt over the shower curtain rod to dry, patted yourself down with the towel, and slipped Cove's shirt on. You wrapped your arms around your torso. The change didn't completely fix your predicament, but it was definitely an improvement. Even if it was kind of an off fit, you could make it work. And you couldn't deny it was a little bit thrilling to wear a piece of his clothing. You almost couldn't believe it was true. Now, wanting to keep Cove waiting, you promptly returned to the living room. He looked up to greet you after hearing you come back down the hall. How'd it go? Is it good? It looks good. What? Really? He chuckled a broken laugh, unsure what the proper thing to say about this kind of situation was. Keeping eye contact was even more of a challenge for him than before. I think so. You wear it well. I can barely tell it's not really yours and that it's mine. Dude, Cove is so cute. You got the impression that just as he felt some excitement at wearing his clothes, he was having a similar reaction to seeing you in it. Thanks, Cove. You're welcome. Oh, he said that. Oh, wait. Go back.
You're welcome.
There you go. A sudden call caught both of your attentions. I thought I heard voices. Hi, Kira. Cove's mom strolled into the living room with a curious grin. What happened here? You're both wet. There was a sun shower. I'm not saying that word. Cove smiled back at his parent. We came inside to dry off. My mom still won't me going into my house when I'm wet.
Right.
So I told Mia to come back here. That was very sweet of you, baby. She ruffled Cove's wet hair and laughed at the drops of water that shook off. Then a light came to Kira's eyes. I have an idea. Why don't we go for a drive? It has to be standing around the house and you'll air dry in no time. Cove only offered a shrug and a bent smile to his mom. He looked at you for a real answer. Yeah, let's do it. Fun, this will be good. Kira pulled out her cell phone from her pocket to call your mom. They had swapped numbers early in the summer.
See you soon.
Head on out to the garage. I'll meet you there in just a minute. Sorry my mom can be so pushy. She gets some idea in her head and that's what she does. That's okay, thanks for letting me come. I didn't do anything. Doesn't true at all, but you let him get away with that. Come on. Cove led you to the car and Kira wasn't too far behind. Okay, into the back you two. Once the three of you were situated inside, Kira started and drove out of the residential area. When she hit a main road, the car sped up and she rolled back the back windows down all the way. Cove started laughing as he kept trying in vain to keep his hair from flying into his eyes too much. Meanwhile, you closed your eyes as the wind whipped around your wet clothes. I said this drive was going to be good for getting air dried. Yeah, but I didn't agree to this much air. Cove tried pressing the window button, but nothing happened. His eyebrows furrowed in frustration. You disabled the back? Sorry, I can't hear you. Smiling deviously, Kira turned on the radio and turned enough to be heard over the wind. You laughed and enjoyed the event. You yelled into the wind and burst into laughter. Looking over at Cove, you saw him relax. He seemed glad that you were having fun. Oh, are those papers? Then something struck the side of your leg. Several papers were freed from under the car seats and were blown about. Oh, they can't go out the windows! Cove began to haphazardly reach around the space to try and get it all back under wraps. Amused, you helped. Mom, close the windows! Kira offered no response other than a chuckle. She just kept driving. Cove snatched several of papers out of the air, and you caught others, preventing most of them from flying out the window on your side. You showed Cove your collection while grinning widely. I think we got pretty much all of them. You figured if they were sitting out in the back of the car, they couldn't be important enough to get upset over. But Cove continued looking annoyed. Your smile started to slip, and at that his expression softened. I hope so. Thanks for helping. The sun set completely, and at that, Kira rolled up the windows. Cove let out a big sigh and released the random bits of paper he had in fists. My mom is crazy. He ran ahead through his wind-blown hair and laughed with a bit of expiration. You didn't know what was happening anymore. After all that, you wondered what was going to come next, biting your bottom lip. Cove watched you with interest until his focus was taken by a new comment from his mom. I bet you're not feeling damp anymore. No, but now I feel tricked. You could tell by his tone that at this point his complaints were more performative than serious. You spot Kira looking at you both a moment in the rear view mirror, smiling. He sided with Kira. She did say she was taking us on a drive to air out, and that's what happened. Precisely, Mina. Kira continued driving. The radio volume was adjusted for the closed windows, and everyone was sitting more comfortably. Kira lowered the sound even more after pulling into a red light. She took the chance to turn around. You caught her coy smirk.
So?
Does anyone know what we drove past during the drive cycle? I'm not sure I want to. A movie theater! Okay, most places have one somewhere. It isn't that late, you know. We can probably still catch a show. Really, Mom? We don't even know what they'd be playing.
Come on.
That's what makes it fun. Heck yeah. Both of you? He seemed hesitant. You gave him a smile and Cove eased up a bit. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating impulsive behavior every day, but it's important to seize the moment when you can. We might never have another night like this. And don't worry, Mina. I said I watch over you for the night, not just 10 minutes or so. I put your parents in the loop about hitting the movies as soon as we get there.
That's,
I didn't bring any shoes. What? I'm not wearing any either. You lifted up your foot and wiggled your toes so Cove could see. How are we gonna go inside barefoot? It doesn't matter. We'll sneak through quick. No one will notice. You can do it just this once. You bounced in your seat excitedly that it was gonna actually happen. Kira was right. You never got to do stuff like this. Kira drove into the theater parking lot and shut the engine off. With the unbuckling of her seatbelt, she ushered you and Cove out. Despite being hesitant to leave, once inside, Cove burst into a sprint towards the cinema. You were right along with him. The tarmac was still wet from before and cold to stand on with bare feet. Inside, you noticed there was no lines. All the current shows had already started. Kira paid that no mind and strode up towards the counter with some words of encouragement. A third of the running time is added these days. You haven't missed anything. Meanwhile, Cove stood next to you awkwardly. He shifted from one foot to the other and constantly kept looking around. His shady behavior would have made him much more likely to get caught than standing still would have, if there were people around to really notice. It was pretty goofy. You teased him. And I thought you loved being barefoot. Outside. Well, on the bright side, I bet you'll never forget your shoes again, huh? Never. Will you? Probably not. Electing. I don't know how to say the word. A sigh of relief out of you, Kira returned with the tickets in hand. She quickly hurried you and Cove towards the showing room. I'm so sorry for the little hiccup, but hold on. We've almost made it home free. Once we sit down, it'll be smooth sailing. The lights were already off in the showing room. But the movie hadn't started yet. The upcoming movie trailers were still playing. Yes! Keeping her volume in a hushed tone, Kira couldn't help but burst with excitement over your luck. You followed her down the walkway until she spotted open seats in the middle-ish area of the theater. Kira pointed at the seats, looking over her shoulder at you and Cove, waiting for input. Cove nodded and you decided to give her a thumbs up, and she led the way. When you reached your seats, Kira sighed contentedly. Cove gave a sigh of his own and lifted his feet to sit cross-legged instead of keeping them down on the floor. He then leaned over and whispered to you. Do you have any idea what the movie is? No, I didn't hear the name or anything when your mom bought the tickets. Oh boy. After a couple more previews, the main event began. It dawned on you quickly that it was a horror film, one about a group of students being haunted by dangerous ghosts. You were psyched. Going in, you weren't sure what to expect, but this was a fantastic surprise. You hoped this turned out to be good and scary. Glancing over at Cove, you noticed that he looked less than thrilled with the movie. He bit down on his bottom lip and stared at the screen with trembling eyes. Cove had never been a fan of ghosts or intentionally frightening things. That was something you learned about him early on. You grabbed a hold of his hand. Oh my god, dude. Your fingers wrapped tight around his and he jumped slightly at the unexpected touch. But his expression softened when he peeked out at you out of the corner of his eyes. He gave your hand a squeeze to silently voice support. That made you feel good. Sometimes the other people in the scooter themed or jeered or clapped depending on what was happening. Your heart was pounding in chest when the movie finally came to an end. The main character resolved the hauntings, but in a dark conclusion, they didn't make it out alive. Oh. You stayed to let the credits roll and for the theater clear out. Then it was time to head back to the car. Both you and Cove took the same seats in the back of the car again. Even though it was late, Kira was exuding an upbeat, cheerful energy. What a great flick.
I guess.
It wasn't so bad in the end. You enjoyed it, baby? No, I mean, it's hard to explain. I got really tense, and I guess that's the point of horror stuff, but I kind of don't want to have to feel that again. Now it's all over, though. It was sort of cool to do.
Fantastic.
That's so great. Mina, how are you feeling? It was awesome. Kira smiled at that. I still can't believe they died. It's nice when things aren't all obvious and you don't really know how it'll end until you see it, but I wanted it to go better. I demand a happier ending. Yeah. You and Kara spent the rest of the car ride absorbed in conversation about the movie. So, who's hungry? You were surprised when Kira didn't drive you home, but to a drive-thru burger restaurant instead. Why not? That's the spirit. Get whatever you want. Oh, really? Oh, let's just get everything. Oh, wait, actually, what is there? Okay, so hamburger, cheeseburger, chicken. Ooh, spicy chicken, french fries, onion rings. Ew. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm gonna get that. Wait, no, go back. Get that and that. There, that's all. Is that alright? It's A-okay. Cove was tickled by the size of your list and had no disapproval over it. Kira pulled up to the window and ordered what you asked for first. She then decided to order one of everything on the value menu. Whoa, what are you gonna do with all that? Eat it.
Really?
The whole menu? Even after Mina picked most of that already? That's right, there are only maybe 10 things on it, and they're about $1 each. I can swing it, and besides, whatever we don't finish, I'm gonna feed to your dad. He'll be in heaven. Cove sighed affectionately at his mother's antics. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're quite welcome. A few minutes later, Kira exchanged her money for multiple bags of food, which she quickly tossed to you both in the back seat. She then drove off into the night. Can you pass me something? What should I grab? Surprise me. You chose one of the wrapped sandwiches and handed it to her. You had no idea if it was a burger or something else.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Accepting that this was what was happening, Cove shrugged and started pulling food out of the bags for himself. Cove ended up with some onion rings and he happily munched on them. You made sure to grab something you like. Kira's crazy ride just kept going. You had to wonder if this night would ever end. The adventure continued and you were so preoccupied in the back that you almost didn't realize the car had stopped. Kira turned and looked over her shoulder. Okay, party people, it seems we reached the end of the road. Confused, you checked out the window and saw nothing except the empty road ahead. Then you noticed it, the now leaving sign. Kira took you through the entire town. What are we doing here? Kira turned the car around and parked it along the side of the road. I think you both could use a break to stretch your legs, and I doubt anyone is going to come through here this time of night. Besides, I need to make a call, so go on. Cove shook its head and got out of the car without a fight. We can stay in the car? Okay, no, go follow Cove. You got out and called up to Cove. He was busy looking at the stars and stretching his arms while he strolled. You just felt tired. You followed aimlessly. It was late and you were starting to feel exhausted. Sleepy? Yes. Your words came out in a big yawn. Looking sympathetic, Cove smiled at you. Shortly after, you noticed Cove's expression change. His eyebrows furrowed and seemed like he was thinking hard about what he wanted to say next.
I'm so sorry.
Mina, I'm really sorry for my mom being crazy tonight. She isn't always like this, seriously. Why is she being like this now? I think she feels like she has to get out there and do things with me while she can, and she wants to make the time memorable. This visit has been really different than the others, and it didn't start off good. Thinking about how Kira's trip began this summer, you could understand why Cove was thinking along those lines. She probably wanted all the trouble to be worth it in the end. She's giving you a taste of your own medicine. What? You always do whatever you want, no matter what everyone else is thinking. Now your mom is putting you through that. Cove took a second to mull over that assessment before cracking a smile. That's not totally wrong. It's completely right. His smile grew a bit more. It went silent between you both, so you jumped when you heard the sound of a car door closing. Cove, Mina! You turned to see Kira by the driver's side waving. The sight brought a smile to Cove's face, and she quickly made her way over to where you both were standing. Thanks for waiting. I didn't mind.
My baby.
How'd I end up with such a polite boy? She ruffled his hair and Cove lowered his head, accepting the compliment. You thought about how interesting it was to see how Cove interacted with his mom. And then the memory hit you. The first summer you and Cove came to this very spot in his runaway attempt to find his way back to his mom, and now you were all here together. Keep that thought to yourself. It was a long time ago. Anyways, it's kind of cool to be here, right on the edge of town. Exactly. We're standing on a precipice. I don't know how to say that. I think so too. I knew you'd get it. It's good to appreciate these times and places. Kira let out a big breath of air. We should probably call it a night, huh? Finally! The never-ending night had a conclusion in sight. You were more than ready for it to be over. Kira shyly smiled and gestured to the car. Quietly, you all made your way back to it. Cove naturally followed you, taking the seat nearby in the back with a collection of fast food bags still strewn about. You rested your head into the seat as the car roared to life. As you did, Cove leaned in close to whisper,
Hey.
I can talk to your mom so they do get mad about tonight for some reason. It was my mom's idea. You didn't have a choice. Thank you. You're welcome. Also, don't worry about bringing the shirt back when we get home. Just keep it. Until tomorrow? He simply shook his head. He was giving it to us. Ah! Your face went warm. He was giving it to you. You're the best. Cove smiled bashfully at you, but said nothing else. The drive home was smooth and uneventful. The radio was off completely, and you felt your eyelids getting heavy. Your head came to rest on Cove. You were too tired to keep your head up, and it felt quite comfortable there. Cove didn't have any issues there. He leaned into it. You must have been exhausted too. You were happy to stay close like that. It was warm and comfortable. Oh, we're in our room now? What? Actually, that's a nice background. When you opened your eyes, you expected to still be in the car, not your bedroom. It was somehow already morning. You couldn't remember how you ended up there. Sitting up in bed, you thought about how last night was quite an experience. It would almost have felt like a dream if you weren't still wearing the shirt Cove had let you take. It definitely happened. And you were glad to have got that spontaneous Escapade this summer. Ah! That's the end of the episode, dude. Oh, wow. I mean the moment, not episode. Well, yeah, same thing. You guys know what I mean. Oh, wow. That's my favorite moment. Like, honestly, I really like that. It was different. It had Kira in it. We haven't really had much interaction with her, much. But yeah. So, everyone, we have one more moment, and then it'll be the end of step 2. I can't believe it. We're gonna go on to step 3, finally. Okay. Everyone, that is all for today. But lastly, you're Gem, and thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye!